of Prognostications. As for oracles, it is certain that they had begun to lose credit a good while before the coming of Jesus Christ, for we see that Cicero goes to a lot of trouble to find the cause of their weakening. But as for the other prognostications, those drawn from the anatomy of animals at sacrifices, from the scratching of chickens and the flight of birds, from lightning and from the windings of rivers, and the like, on which the ancients relied for most of their public and private enterprises, all these our region has abolished. True, there remain among us some means of divination by the stars, by spirits, bodily traits, dreams, and the like, a notable example of the frenzied curiosity of our nature, which wastes its time anticipating future things, as if it did not have enough to do digesting the present. Ruler of Olympus, why didst thou see fit to add this anguish to man's other woes? Foreknowledge by grim signs of future blows, strike by surprise and shroud our fate in night. Even in terror, let hope remain man's right. Lucan. Nevertheless, it is a fact that divination is of much less authority now. That is why I find remarkable the example of Francis, Marquis of Saluzzo, lieutenant of King Francis in his army beyond the mountains, a man infinitely favored in our court and obligated to the king for the marquisate itself, which had been confiscated from his brother. This marquis, for no reason, and even against his own affections, let himself be so very terrified, it was reported, by the fine prognostications that were then being circulated on all sides to the advantage of Emperor Charles V and to our disadvantage, especially Italy, where these insane prophecies were so widely accepted that in Rome a great amount of money was put on the exchange to back them, that after repeatedly lamenting to his intimates the evils of he regarded as being inevitably prepared for the crown of France and for the friends he had there, he revolted and changed sides, to his own great misfortune as it happened, whatever constellation may have been in the ascendant. But he went about it like a man torn by conflicting passions, for having both cities and forces in hand, the enemy army under Antonio de Leyva 3 steps away, and us without a suspicion of his action, he could have done worse than he did. For by his treason we lost neither a man nor a town except Fossano, and that only after having resisted for a long time. God hides within night's blackest folds, most wisely what the future holds, and laughs if a man takes fright more than is right. Horace. Happy the man and master of himself, who can each day say, I have lived. Let Jove tomorrow fill the sky above with clouds or sunlight pure. Horace. Our soul, happy in the present, cares not what lies beyond. Horace. I would much rather regulate my affairs by the chance of the dice than by such dreams. I see some who study and comment on their almanacs and cite their authority in current events. With all they say, they necessarily tell both truth and falsehood. I think none the better of them to see them sometimes happen to hit the truth. There would be more certainty in it if it were the rule and the truth that they always lied. We have occasionally seen some of our princely souls linger on these vanities to their disadvantage. The daemon of Socrates was perhaps a certain impulse of the will that came to him without awaiting the advice of his reason. In a well-purified soul such as his, prepared by a continual exercise of wisdom and virtue, it is likely that these inclinations, although instinctive and undigested, were always important and worth following. Everyone feels within himself some likeness of such stirrings, and I have had some, by which I let myself be carried away so usefully and fortunately that they might be judged to have in them something of divine inspiration.